Shall we get started?
Sure, why not? Yes, I don't really do like full introduction. I just kind of roll into it because I think it just feels natural. Because
Yeah.
I know there's like a lot of podcasts. They're just like, hey, like,
Hey.
welcome to the Fillet Pod. No, not really about that. Like, I'm really just like rolling into,
Yeah.
just rolling into the podcast naturally. So, but yeah, I think like we could just start off like introduce who you are and like what your role is at Fillet Studios.
Mhm. Okay, well, hello, I'm Viv, and I don't know if I should be looking at
Yeah,
you.
you look at me. No, that's fine. I feel like Tyler had that same thing,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah, we just look at each other.
Okay. Well, Viv, I'm the creative producer at Fillet Studios. I'm also a photographer and director. I love just like doing really cool stuff.
Yeah, super
Yep.
talented.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it's crazy. Yeah, because literally, I feel we were literally just like going back to our post, and we saw a comment of mine on Vivian's post from 2022, and I don't even think we've met then. But when I moved here, I was just trying to connect with people and follow some creative folks, and saw some of your work back in 2022, and yeah, I think I remember meeting you around, was it 2023 maybe ish,
Oh, probably.
around that time, and we met at like the Skin Tones live production event,
Yes.
and I remember going to that event like feeling super. I don't know. There's just a lot going on, which is really cool. But I met like a lot of creative people there, and that was something that I really loved about it. But yeah, tell me your experience and about that event.
That
And then,
event?
do you remember? I
Yes.
guess meeting me or
Yeah, no. I was a PA for that event. And yeah, I also thought it was pretty interesting too, because it's just like a lot is going on. There's a bunch of people, a bunch of creatives in the community, and then it was like a public display of us working. So that was interesting. And I do remember meeting you there. It was quite brief, but it's like, I don't know if you know this, or I don't know if this happens to you, but like when it comes to like Asian people, there's like a radar where you're like, oh, you're Asian too. You notice, you're like, hey. And
yeah,
especially in the creative field, right? You're like, oh, hello,
yeah,
hi. Like,
yeah. I remember seeing that Donnie was part of it and taking
yeah.
photos for one of the sets
Mhm.
and saw like a bunch of Asian people like helping out. I was like, oh, like it feels very diverse. I love the diversity aspect and how many different kinds of people were involved. And then obviously like meeting you. I took BTS that day, so it was fun to meet some other creatives. But yeah, that was such a crazy time that we met a few years ago, and then like now looking where we are now is insane.
Mhm.
I guess like looking back at 2022 and maybe where you were around that time during that event, what have you noticed like the growth in your work? Like have you grown since then, or what, where were you at that time in your career?
Oh, yeah, no, I think that was around the time when I was really starting to take photography more seriously. I think just like a lot of people, right? It kind of just starts as a hobby, but definitely that during that time was when I was like, okay, let's be more intentional about the shoots that I do. Let's be more intentional about the shots that we take. And I mean, I do miss those days where we would just create for fun. You just like go out with like your friends and like whatever other creatives, right? And you just like create on the fly and like those those were great times. But definitely I think that was around the time when I really was like, okay, let's be more intentional. Let's
Hmm.
like plan things more. And I also realized that like as these ideas get bigger, you do need to work with more people, right? And with more people means that you need to be aligned and really plan for that
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
Right.
So,
Yeah, having structure is super important, and kind of going back to like you said, like it's fun to still have or to take photos like on a whim. I honestly feel like, especially people who have more experience and maybe do more larger productions, I feel like it could be beneficial for us. It's like a hot take, but I feel like it could be beneficial for us to maybe do more spontaneous stuff like that to balance some of the higher produced projects that we do. And I know too, you just went to California to do some photos, and I feel like that maybe like was pretty fun to just roam around in California and Chinatown. And even though there was a specific thing you're looking for, you
Mhm.
probably still had fun and didn't really care too much. So I think having that good balance is like important as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like that creative freedom. It's yeah, in a world where like everything has been very structured and stuff, like doing shoots that are a bit more flexible, where like I mean, even if it's like a collab shoot or like whatever type of shoot that is seems to be more like on the fly, you're kind of just going with the flow. Even some of those, I still have like a bit of a plan though, right? Like I
Mhm.
still have the vibe that I want to shoot and like general ideas of like maybe poses or shots I want to get. But I think, yeah, doing shoots like that where I was able to really be more free flowing with it was really fun for me. It was like very much needed. Like you need to play, right?
Mhm.
It is nice to just be able to play and then like to keep that creative spirit going. I am thankful that that one trip in particular, like my clients were, very, they trust me a lot and they're like,
Mhm.
yes, like we trust your creativity. Do whatever you want to do. We're here for it. Like we'll fly you out. We'll do this.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, wow, I love
Yeah,
that.
for sure.
Yeah. And then also, I also got to collaborate with another like music artists out there, which was really cool too. So yeah, just like shooting around LA, that was like really fun for me. I
Yeah.
needed that.
I
Yeah.
think like what separates like a professional and an amateur is like even though you still had like a loose plan, you're still able to like be there with them to direct them. And I think part of being professional is to have the expertise to position them or be vocal and direct, even though the plan is like not super structured like most of our bigger productions. But yeah, it's kind of cool to have that balance. But
Mhm.
I guess I want to talk a little bit about us joining together. Fillet Studios, we obviously
Yeah.
kind of started this together. It kind of flew, I don't know, naturally in a way. I think it kind of progressed. Like we obviously worked on a lot of projects together in the past couple of years,
Yeah.
more so. But yeah, it felt kind of just natural to join forces. But I kind of wanted to talk about like what was your like reasoning for wanting to join Fillet Studios? I know we like kind of talked about it, but I feel like I haven't heard maybe your personal perspective of
Mhm.
like your side of working with me and then wanting to continue to grow together from a creative standpoint and professional.
Yeah. Working with you has always been it's always been a very fulfilling experience for me. Like I do remember back then, let's see, I yeah, I definitely like stalked you a bit too after I met you, and I loved the way you like shot things. Like I love your perspective and the way you tell your stories visually, and that to me was like already eye catching. And then getting to work with you on like bigger projects and stuff, I realized that oh yeah, like working with Devin, it's I love it. Our dynamic, like it just works really well, and you're very like
Find the word.
I'm having like a brain
Yeah,
fart right now,
okay.
but like for sure your professionalism, your work ethic, your talent too, right? And your ambitions and I remember you told me a while ago about how like oh yeah, like you've always wanted to start your own like production company and like maybe in New York too and
Mhm.
everything, right? And it's just like just seeing how hard you work, like seeing your passions and everything, and already seeing how well we work together, it just like it really was natural that like, oh yeah, I would love to like support you with this
Mhm.
journey and like just just be with you along the
Yeah,
way.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's been yeah. Well, thank you for those words first of all. It's good to like I guess hear that from your perspective. And like I said, it's been like a natural progression,
Mhm.
but even before we've worked together at Fillet Studios, and the first time we met, like I feel like I've always just been so impressed of each photo shoot, conceptualized photo shoot that you've done, and how like each time you're just like raising the bar and raising, just like how far can you push these ideas, and then that kind of coincided with my journey too. I felt like I was constantly um, growing in filmmaking and trying to push the boundaries with music videos and commercials and other kind
Mhm.
of projects. And then I just thought like, oh, especially we were talking about how many projects we've done this past or since we've known each other, which have been a lot. But the
Yeah.
first time that I was like, oh dang, she really does this was the Serpent's Charm. I was like, wow, like um super talented photographer, creative director, but also can um produce something at this scale. And not saying that you haven't done it before, but that was just like a large project, a large task to tackle. And obviously with the team of people, but being a lead on it was something like, oh, like definitely one of the first people I thought of when Fillet Studios was like, when I started thinking about Fillet Studios, like who have I met this year? Who have been some people that I thought I've worked with that was such a pleasure to work with? And yeah, you were like the first person, and then obviously wanted to gauge to see if you're interested, and I didn't really want to approach it like, oh, like we need to do like super structured. I just wanted to still have you like have autonomy over your own projects, and you just being a little bit more involved. But yeah, that's just kind of I feel like how we naturally
Ooh, thank you.
integrated. But yeah,
Yeah.
like that was the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's thank you.
Yeah.
You know, Serpent Storm was definitely it really was a huge team effort. Like
Mhm.
I'm so grateful for the all the creatives I've met, like this entire community here. Definitely I think behind every project that I may have like led, right? It's always been a team beside me, like working
Mhm.
with me. So I really appreciate everyone for that.
Yeah. How, I guess, what does it mean to you to, as a artist, creative, to push your limits? Because I feel like you haven't done that before, put on a fashion show, an exhibition with a large team, and obviously that was the first one of that scale. Obviously, there's some ups and downs, but like,
Oh yeah.
what does it mean to you as an artist to push that boundary and to go into spaces that you don't have that much experience in, and then to come out of it very successful because it was sold out, and I feel like people were standing to watch shows, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So what was your, you know you as an artist, like, why is it important for you to like step out of your comfort zone?
Oh yeah. It was definitely a need. Like a the whole project and pushing myself, it was something I really needed to do creatively. And I think a lot of times when it comes to that stuff, I am not only just like kind of thinking about my own growth, but growth of the people around me because I'm always like wanting to provide space or like opportunities for other creatives too, right? And so with that in particular, that project really highlighted, like designers, models, um, hair, makeup artists, and like production, like media, like everyone in there, like everyone in that project was able to grow their creative portfolios. And so I think to me, like being that the starter, right? Being like
Right.
the person who initiates it, I was like, if I want to see more opportunities, I have to make those opportunities. And I think
Mhm.
that's what I've realized, right?
Right.
Yeah, especially in a community out here in the Midwest.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. I mean, I
yeah.
think that pushes the art forward. It pushes the community forward. It pushes aspiring, emerging creatives from all sorts of mediums forward. Like, I think that event definitely was a highlight to like a lot of people's journey as well.
Yeah.
Um, Tell me a little bit about like obviously leading I'm sure you had to like trust a lot of people. How
Mhm.
important it is to have a large team and like the people that you had on your team to trust that they're gonna deliver or be able to be on time
Yeah.
and do everything that we planned. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I've learned that knowing your leadership style really does matter. And I have to ask myself, sometimes remind myself of like why I'm doing it, and then also why others are also a part of it too, right? So we were managing like about like 60 volunteers, I believe, around that much, right? And so just making sure that like we're communicating with everyone, their roles, and then me like just delegating, making sure to just trust, right? That like we all have like the same values right now, and that like we're just gonna make it happen. And it's I mean, I will say like I have my moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, is it gonna work out? Is it really gonna work out? But then
Mhm.
like getting reassurance from like Aola, my right hand, it really helped a lot too along the way. And honestly, I kind of forgot what the original question was.
You're good. No, I was just like asking about the trust. Like obviously you
Yeah.
Ayla was like your right hand, and I
Hmm.
feel like trust, and even she's part of what we're doing
Yeah.
right now. To have that
Yeah.
trust in each other to is really huge, and just have people who are like are surrounded with that are reliable
Yeah.
and are resourceful and show up is really important,
Hmm.
especially with big projects, especially with large editorial
Oh yeah.
teams or film projects. It's like that's what I've learned too. It's just like
Yeah.
you just need to like find those people that align with your leadership style and also who can be reliable. So that's just super
Yeah. It
important.
really is. It is a trust thing for sure. I think people might think it's like, oh, you're like really taking a risk, right? But I think we all know that like you have to take these little risks or like little leaps and stuff, and like leaps of faith, right? To get this stuff going, to get it like done.
Yeah. Um, I guess from there, I wanted to talk a little bit about Fillet's process because I feel we just launched in January, but and I'm still somewhat new to just like owning a business. I feel like I have really great entrepreneur and business um like knowledge and frameworks to like make sure things go like smooth and successful when working with clients. But I guess we never really talked about our process too much. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we have similar processes, but what have you noticed the way that we've worked on a few projects already about the way we work, our workflow, and
Mm-hmm.
um, is there anything that you like or like don't like? I kind of want to just like leave this open and honest because like I feel like we haven't honestly talked about it, but
Mm-hmm.
it works out for us,
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's overall pretty good.
Mm-hmm. One thing I appreciate about our process, from what I've noticed so far, is how very diligent you are with maintaining good communication, especially on
Mm.
your end. That's been something that like you should give yourself a pat on the back for.
Thanks.
You've been doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very. I would say like our process has been very organized, and I think sometimes some new clients who have never like worked with like a bigger production company or like something with more structure, they tend to be surprised about how like organized we could be or
Mm.
like how things are like structured. So but I think you also do like a very good job with like explaining things to clients too, and like trying to be on the same page.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you think that our process, the way that we, onboard new clients to coming up with ideas
Mhm.
to pre-production and then production day and then post. Obviously, we're still refining our process, but I think
Mhm.
it's like a really good foundation. But do you think maybe especially for those new clients, do you think it's more of a surprise or more of like an eye-opening thing? Like, oh, this is how a professional team operates, kind of thing.
Mm.
Like, I know they might not have experience, but do you think it's less of like a, oh, like I don't know what to do, more of like, hey, like I need to come up to their level, kind of thing. Like if I want to take myself serious, does that set a standard for us and a standard for our clients to, especially with people who we want to work with, the kind of level of operation between both parties, new or, people who have been in the industry for a while? Do you think it's more of a, people who have been working, like, oh, they get it, but people who haven't been in it is like, oh, I need to be there, and maybe they appreciate it more. I don't know. What do you
Mm.
think about it?
Wow. I have not thought about that. Um, I think I don't I think the way that our process is like something I'm so used to. Um, huh. Like I'm so used to like fast pace,
Hmm.
like pre-production, while also like still involving a client, like hearing them out and everything. I don't know, everything just feels so natural to me right
Yeah.
now. So like, wait.
I think too, what's kind of helped is like us knowing our timelines really well, knowing our capacity, and knowing like, oh, like we can deliver within this timeline,
Mm,
and really communicating that with clients have been really helpful, so we're not getting burnt out as creatives, and we're leaving space to be intentional instead of like super fast turnarounds and go go go. I think
mhm.
like that's what other you don't have to be a photographer or a filmmaker, but in general, like if you're so used to maybe the fast pace hustle or fast pace like doing everything really quickly, I think more so maybe looking more into slowing down your process a little bit more. So quality work comes out, communication is
Mhm.
on point, and then everything stays aligned. I think that's what's been really good about our process
Yeah.
is, um, nothing really slips the crack, like the cracks too much. I feel like we're always communicating really clearly and delivering what we, I
Mhm.
guess, agreed on. So I think that's what's been really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also noticed that I like that we're not just, doing what a client says, right? It's like we're actually putting in our own like input on like, oh, like with like timelines or like what we think is like best for the campaigns or like the work that we do, like our suggestions. Like we're not afraid to like suggest like, hey, how about we just take a step back and then like look at it like this instead of like this. And then kind of just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
Right? It's like we're we really do have, from what I've noticed, like the best interests, right, of like the clients and like with our suggestions. And I'm glad that like we haven't been like scared to
Yeah,
change
yeah.
things.
I think what we do a good job of is really taking that creative lead
Mhm.
and um, sharing like how we would approach it, and as like from a brand or artist perspective,
Mhm.
and it's really also just a collaborative
Oh
process.
yeah.
Like we come to you with like an approach with some concepts or ideas and how we would, um, I guess, move this forward, and then we get your feedback on it, and then we shift some things here and there, but it's mainly so you can understand like, all right, maybe from our creative minds, like how we would, I guess, strategize this whole initiative or launch you're trying to do. So I really appreciated like how that process usually goes, because um, and I think like the clients that do well with us are pretty open minded
Mhm.
and maybe allow us some creative freedom to express
Yeah.
how we would approach it, and then also really, I guess, good with feedback. So,
Ideal
you know,
clients.
yeah. So that if you're listening right now, yeah, like if ever want to work with a client, I think it's good to figure out your ideal client and figure out like what their what signals a good client versus a bad client, and figuring
Mhm.
out right away, usually in the beginning, if they meet those markers. And I think we've um, done a good job of having some of those initial meetings to be like, all right, is this a good fit or not?
Mhm.
And um, yeah, but I think going off of what you said about like campaigns and stuff like that, I feel like throughout a lot of our work, we've kind of visualized a lot of our projects to be more holistic, and building some of those, I guess, visual ecosystems with not just
Mhm.
like one kind of content. And I kind of noticed this in just maybe in
Yeah.
the social space. Like sometimes with a strategy, you need to think about, I guess, what the goal is of the project, but also um, from artistic form, how is this going to roll out, and how you're going to, I guess, connect or engage with
Mhm.
the campaign that we're going to do. And but I wanted to get your thoughts on like, since we've worked on so many projects that have multiple deliverables, like how do you think those projects go from having like more of a campaign style versus like one specific deliverable, which I feel like are still okay if it has a specific goal and purpose.
Mhm.
There are definitely projects like that, but most of our stuff is like involves video and photo and
Yeah.
maybe some design. So yeah, what are your thoughts on campaigns?
Yeah, no, I love the whole idea of we're building a world, not just content, right? And so having that holistic style of like having the holistic process with like the different types of mediums or deliverables, it's it's definitely something that just like takes things to the next level, right? And so
Like focusing on
yeah.
like intention, like you said before, like
Yeah.
you growing as like a photographer, you've realized to just maybe focus more about the intention. And I think like most of the campaigns,
Mhm.
like we're thinking about what platform, what audience, like what how is this being viewed. And I think that's what's been the game changer of, I guess, the strategy standpoint of what we offer as a value is like we're not just creating mindlessly, we're
Yeah.
actually like thinking, doing a little bit of research, looking at your content, what you have now, and how to best position your brand and your
Mhm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
how to best position your brand
Yeah, the
in the
strategy to
digital.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's a lot of intention behind it, and I think that's what's been, um, I guess, the difference
Mhm.
for most of the projects we've been doing. Um, I guess though too, going back to like what you said about like the serpent charm, about I guess more creating more opportunities for other creatives. And now that you're like where you are in your career, obviously you've grown to a certain point, I guess, like and we're also starting the School of Fillet, which we'll kind of get into a little bit after this. But what kind of is the importance of like you like giving back and educating? I know you went to Worthington to do a workshop to teach some little kiddos and stuff like that. So, and I know you love that experience. So tell me a bit more about like the why behind, I guess, creating more opportunities and education for the future generations.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could call me a community builder, as Aola calls me. Uh, my why? Well, I think I really thought about it, right? Like growing up, I never thought being a creative could be a career, right? I think with my background and like maybe a lot of no, I know a lot of people can relate. There was this pressure to be like a doctor, engineer, lawyer, whatever is like super high paying. None of it was ever creative. And if you were interested in something creative, you were told to like keep it as a hobby because you're not gonna make money from it or like whatever, right? And so also growing up, I didn't have people around me, like none of my relatives, nobody was a creative,
Hmm.
right? Um, and so I would say like it's it means something to me to be like the change that I want to see,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Like I wish I had like a role model that was just like me,
Right.
like an Asian woman, creative. Like I wish I had someone like that growing up. And so it's it's been something I've been thinking about a lot about like how do I want to leave a legacy and um like I just like want to give back, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a way to give back to the
Yeah.
community. I relate to that. Not in a I don't know. I guess not in a sense of maybe because I didn't really grow. I did the same background too. Like I feel like I didn't grow up with, I guess anyone who was in the arts or
Mhm.
anything. I
Yeah.
mean, I was surrounded by it in school and whatnot, and
Mhm.
maybe not in home. Um, but I guess for me, my journey was a little bit different because I started in like sports and stuff, and then
Mm.
I felt like um, I feel like I always had like a creative like mind or
Mhm.
I guess perspective to a lot of things, and I always like sketched and drawn, and I was very expressive. I think I was
Yeah.
just expressive in general. And it wasn't until like I moved on from like an athletic identity to a more creative
Mm.
identity throughout college, where I was like super tapped into like, oh, like there's this other side of me
Mm.
that I was ignoring. And I think like that was so, I guess, eye opening for me
Yeah.
in the start of my like creative journey or filmmaking journey was fully realizing that and then getting introduced to filmmaking and then falling in love with that
Yeah.
was like, oh, like this is so dope. Like I didn't know you could, like you said, I could do this for a career.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. My journey was a little bit late. I was probably like right after or right like towards the end of college when I started to do filmmaking
Mm.
and I went to school for advertising. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot of like book stuff, but like
Right.
it wasn't it wasn't much focus on the creative or filmmaking
Right.
specifically. And during that early journey, and this is the reason why I also I'm not maybe I don't take the title of community builder, but I want like I do see myself like wanting to give back for the same reasons because when I was starting out, there was no one to show me I guess how to do things
Mhm.
or a mentor or someone that I could like look up to at that time, and most of it was just like learning on my own and
Mhm.
experimenting, exploring. I think like as creatives, we're just naturally
Yeah.
drawn to do that. Um, but yeah, that's the whole reason why I want to like give back too is to help people accelerate their
Mhm.
growth to be able to get to where they want to be faster
Right.
because it took me like literally six I don't know 5 6 years to get
When did you start?
probably around. Wait, actually, it's been more than that.
2018?
2018, 2019.
Oh,
Actually, it's been like 7 years. But I don't know.
okay.
Maybe I don't count the first 2 years because I
I know,
was
right?
like,
I never know if I should count the first 2
right.
years either.
Yeah, it's like, damn, what was I doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
But after like year two, I was
Right.
like, all right, people are paying me.
Yeah. You're like, wait. It's like, oh, my work is worth something.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
think that's like the shift
Yeah.
of like, oh, like this could be like a serious career. But
Yeah.
I didn't go to school for like filmmaking, and you probably didn't go to school for
No, I didn't.
photography. And it's like,
Oh, yeah.
I guess when you start to learn on your own, and people start to pay for your
Yeah.
work, you know you have a specific taste and style or things
Mhm.
that people like want to work with you for, and I think that's like one of the coolest moments is just getting paid for your first gig.
It was very validating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like dang, it's
Oh,
dope.
okay. Yeah, cool. Like you see worth there, and I think that's really awesome. Yeah, no, I did not have a creative background. Went to school for psychology, family therapy. I did complete my bachelor's. And then yeah. Um I think it was around the same time as you were like 2018, 2019-ish was when like I got into photography, right? Like started on my phone. But it was actually it was the people around me. Like I did get into contact with some creatives around me during that time, and they actually did influence me a bit, right? Like seeing everyone be creative, it's like, oh wait, I can do that too. And then yeah, like once you get paid, you're like, whoa, like
Yeah,
hey, I could take this further.
sure.
Um, so I am thankful for the creative friends I've met along the way. I have taught myself a lot of things, but also I did learn a lot from my peers.
Yeah, I
So
think that's like a big thing too,
yeah.
is surrounding yourself with other like-minded people. Because
Hmm.
like I said before, like I was an athlete, I was surrounded by athletes, and
Oh
the
yeah.
way, especially if you're like a college athlete, like you're very like structured, like this is what you do day in, day out. You know what you're gonna do from morning to night as a student athlete. But when I started to like surround myself with other people in the industry, it's like I was just like a sponge, just like, all right, I'm just like learning everything that
Yeah.
they're teaching or like saying from experience or hands on, and just trying to like, oh, like this is learning a new industry and a new part of like I interned at a social media agency right when I was in college, so I was able to like learn more about um, I guess how an agency operates, how a
Mhm.
team operates from that standpoint. So that was like my first exposure. But I was like interning with them like throughout the week,
Mhm.
and also a student athlete. So like I was balancing like both. But like the more that I guess my once my like college career, I guess for sports ended, I started to surround myself with like more creatives, and then eventually had a mentor to kind of
Mhm.
help guide me
Yeah.
in a way, but surrounded with just more people who did video and photography, and I just started to learn bits
Mm.
and pieces from them, but also from myself, I
Mhm.
guess. So I think that's maybe what helped accelerate the growth, is
Oh
just like
yeah.
being around other people where you can like take bits and pieces from, and then also apply it to your own stuff.
Yeah. Your environment really does matter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you realize like you're stagnant, it's it's so important to follow your gut and just to get yourself out of that,
Hmm.
which is really awesome.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
you did. You literally moved.
Yeah.
You're like, yay!
Yeah. Hey, I'm here. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too in depth into like my journey,
Yeah.
but in a sense of like being like someone who's trying to get into this industry as a creative filmmaker, photographer, um, especially something we're doing this summer is our School of Fillet program,
Yeah.
and now after just like talking about that, all that, like it definitely, I'm just like reflecting like why we're
Hmm.
doing this program is definitely fulfilling to me, because you know, definitely want to invest into these people who are looking to get to their next step in their photography journey.
Yeah.
And yeah, so maybe tell me a little bit more about School of Fillet, because you're the program director, and you're handling what's being taught. So yeah, tell me a little bit about what the program is.
Yes. So, School of Fillet is a creative entrepreneur photography program, and with an exhibition following the program, it's essentially going to be a course about, I believe, 6 weeks. Is it 6 weeks?
I think so. Yeah,
Uh,
it's about 6 weeks. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's a
It
yes.
span over like 2 months, but I think
Yeah.
like the program itself is like 6 weeks.
Mhm. Right. So essentially, we are going to have a cohort of 6 photographers, and we're going to be mentoring them from basically the start of like the concepts of like editorial photography, and then all the way to showcasing their work in an exhibition. And so then within that time frame, they will be diving deeper into creative direction, business, entrepreneurial fundamentals. They'll also be learning like editorial lighting from Amy, and then also a bit of like post production workflows and working with. They get to work with a whole production team or crew to create an editorial photo shoot, right? So then we have that, and then that will we will be working with them through that, and then having an exhibition event where like they'll be able to also network with other professionals as well.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be so fun. I feel like there are a lot of people who are seeking
Mhm.
mentorship and who want to get into the editorial or conceptual work in general. I think what our team can really offer um, these photographers are just more mentorship around the creative direction and the professionalism around like
Mhm.
um, actually getting paid for your work, and then really stepping up their game with, like you said, the advanced lighting techniques that will
Mhm.
be instructing on that day, and then also um, just more guidance on how to creatively lead a team. And our team, especially throughout all the projects we've done and individually,
Mhm.
have led a lot of teams. And I feel like we are like have the perfect, I guess, educators or instructors to be
Yeah.
teaching, because we have so much experience. And especially with like 6 students, like we get to have more of that one-on-one
Mhm.
kind of mentorship, which a
Right.
more like focused, detailed. So
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
I know with with if we had like more people, it might be a little bit hard to
Mhm.
have that relationship or
Right.
connection and really delivering on what they want to learn.
Mhm.
And I think having that, um, I guess, undivided attention to these students will
Mhm.
be super helpful. And
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, and the curriculum is like built to be very hands-on, very interactive, so that like the students can actually practice what they're learning and also get that live feedback too. So,
yeah, I think that's gonna be really important.
yeah.
And especially when they essentially graduate from the School of Fillet. Yeah, but that they can take everything that they learned and
Mhm.
apply it to their future work and have like a
Mhm.
sustainable career, or at least launch their career with the right foundations.
Yes.
Because once you learn all of the skill sets to lead a team, to and more technical, I guess, skill sets too, and then
Mhm.
especially with the entrepreneur and business stuff, I want to focus on how they can have framework around their creative process. Like if you are planning like a large production, like what do you need to have in your system to make
Mhm.
sure that um, I guess it goes smoothly, and that you're I guess if you're I guess, entrepreneur or a freelance photographer, that um, I guess your quality work reflects your systems, your
Mhm.
processes. So if someone comes to you for a project, you have everything in line to be like, all right, this is my process,
Right.
and then they can take that and apply it to their own clients. Because I think that's what separates like um, your your level as a photographer, if you're doing it professionally, is having structure, having process, and letting your clients know like you have those systems and a professional system.
Mhm.
And that's what separates the difference between amateur and professional is that system.
Right.
So we're tying in like the creative process and also the business, and they come together, so you have like
Mhm.
this I guess what you're learning to take in the real world. So
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, and they also get an awesome playbook written
yeah,
by Devin.
yeah, yeah. I'm hoping that they can just have this to refer as like a reference, and everyone runs their business differently,
Mhm.
or their process differently. But I hope to like teach in one of the workshops, and then also have the playbook for them at the end, so they can always refer
Mhm.
back to, all right, like this is what Devin taught, but this is the playbook. And
Yeah.
to it's more of a resource and a reflection of like, oh, like this is really helpful, but
Yeah.
maybe I want to structure it differently.
Right.
But I think it's a good foundation for everyone who maybe not have the business side of things.
Mm.
I know, like as creatives, like business is like not really. I don't know. For me, like it was really uncomfortable for me at starting, because it's like I just want to focus on the creative part, not the
Right.
business side. But then I really felt like to elevate my work was to be more educated on the structure and the business side of things to have a better
Mhm.
client relationship, client
Yeah.
success. So that's what you'll be learning in the
Yeah.
program. If you applied, amazing. We'll be
Yeah.
looking at your application. Um, and yeah, we look forward to putting it on. So yeah.
Yeah. Should we talk about who's involved in it?
Yeah, briefly we can if you want to touch on who's gonna be helping out.
Yeah. Well, Devin, we
Yeah,
should choose each other.
yeah, us too.
I mean, yeah, Devin will be teaching the entrepreneurial side of things, like the business fundamentals. And so, like I said before, you will receive a playbook. If we have an image, insert image here.
I'm working on it right now, but yeah, we will have.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Devin's gonna go over that. He's gonna teach that. Obviously, he's the founder of Fillet, and like he's got the business experience with that too. And then we also have Amy, who is teaching the editorial lighting masterclass. She is someone who is an expert in the editorial fashion realm, and she is like she wears a lot of hats, right? Like creative direction, like talent, like working with talent, and like she is just wow.
Yeah, definitely at a different level, and I
Yeah.
feel like Amy's just the perfect person to have on to teach with the lighting and because lighting is super technical and shaping it is can be really complicated.
Right.
So having Amy
Yeah.
teach that is going to be super helpful because they can learn on what techniques work for different kinds of
Right.
situations or concepts and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
There's like, the basic lighting techniques, but then what makes it editorial is like the storytelling of it, right? With the lighting. And that's what Amy's gonna be like going over to. So that's gonna
Yeah.
be fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one last person.
Oh yes. I mean, we also have Ayola, who is our lead program coordinator. Ayola has been involved with a lot of different productions, like event coordinating, and so she's always like everything logistically always runs like so well when you work with her, and so I'm really excited to have her on the team because like I just know everything's gonna run really smooth.
Yeah,
It's gonna be so
and she has like and I can feel it too because we're planning this together. But she definitely does have a passion for kind of creating these environments
Yeah.
for people to learn, to grow, to work in a inclusive space. So,
right. Exactly.
yeah, and I forgot she was part of the short film we did last summer too.
Oh
But
yes,
but
yeah.
yeah, like I feel like throughout like the Serpent Charm, the short film, and this, like I can definitely see like how she operates and
Yeah.
how much she cares
Mhm.
about that environment and the process. So very detail oriented. So we appreciate you, Ayla. I guess yeah, we're gonna kind of get to like closing the podcast, but I guess where do you see I guess where we are now.
Yeah.
Where do you see Fillet going, or where do you see yourself going as like an individual and your growth as a creative producer, director, and photographer?
With Fillet, I see myself doing cool shit with Fillet for many, many years.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
please don't fire me.
No, there's no firing.
I think, well, no, I know we have a lot of potential, and I know like we are meant to do really big things. And I'm super grateful to be a part of Fillet, right? I don't remember if I said it, but also like, yeah, being a part of Fillet is definitely a big step for me, like growth wise, where I'm like, ooh, okay, I've been like solopreneur for like the longest time. And it's like, ooh, okay, now it's cool to be part of an actual production company and to like just like be world building with you
Yeah.
on like a larger scale. So
I think
yeah.
what's been really cool too is like the collaboration. Like, yeah, I am the founder, but I also like see you as like an equal. Like, hey, like let's build together, let's grow together. You know, we're bringing we kind of operate as like a team and just be like, hey, there's this person that might be interested in needing a video, or this person might need photo, and we're kind of like always having conversations about like different kind of projects and what might be coming up, and seeing how we can like incorporate Fillet or work together on projects. And I think that's what's gonna like elevate us, is like working more as a team, and then hopefully building out our team, and then working on bigger projects. I think that's something to look forward to too. Is like just expanding as ourselves as a creative, as a team with Fillet, and hopefully just working more on projects we love to do, and also get paid for it. So I think that's like the thing that I feel like potential wise we have, is like we have a good process, we work together well, and we know we can operate at that level. And I mean, we do operate at that level, but I feel like we can continue growing it and reach new levels. That's what I'm saying.
International.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, and yeah, one of my biggest things is trying to network with people right now in different states, so I can like really just expand where Fillet exists.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of like my ongoing goal right now, is to like work. I'm focusing on working in Minneapolis, building the community here, and serving clients here. But if there's opportunity to network with people outside and plant seeds, is what I'm trying to do as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna grow.
Yeah.
We're gonna refer back to this video, be like, hey, remember when we said this? Oh, it's happening now.
Yeah, there's like a trend right now where there's like they play two different videos from different times, and it's like, oh dang, you're there last year. You know, like looking back to this maybe a year from now, it might be at a different spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's where I feel like I envision Fillet 2 is, one, focusing on continuing, I guess, our expressing our values with every production, every client, every interaction we have with anyone that we come across. But you know, and especially with like the program, and I really feel like we can definitely give back in a way of helping other emerging creatives grow. And I think that's part of one of our values, is that part of the community. And you know, the way that we grew into it, we want people to get to a different level as well, and expand their careers. And yeah, just hopefully just serve our clients better. So yeah, I'm super excited where we're going, and yeah, I'm excited for our program coming up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
Thank you for tuning into our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome.
Yay.